The Caribbean island of Dominica is currently undertaking the most ambitious infrastructure project in its history. Deep in the lush rainforests of Wesley, crews are clearing ground for a billion-dollar international airport. The economic goal is massive. By building a runway capable of landing wide-body, long-haul aircraft like the Boeing 777, the island intends to open direct routes to North America and Europe, driving a massive surge in tourism and national revenue. But flattening this mountainous terrain requires monumental earthworks. To build a stable base for the runway, engineers have to extract and process millions of tons of local crushed rock. That entire billion-dollar economic ambition ultimately rests on the microscopic structural integrity of the crushed stones buried underneath the tarmac. Landing a wide-body jet drops over 60,000 pounds of downward force onto a single wheel. The pavement below has to absorb that immense shock without buckling. To supply rock for this foundation, the government plans to mine the nearby Dominica Valley. Keeping the extraction local saves millions in maritime shipping logistics and helps the nation avoid taking on crippling debt. But an independent geological assessment by Professor Simon Mitchell of the University of the West Indies throws a wrench into those logistics. His report concludes the stone at the Dominica site is geologically compromised. The island is now locked in a high-stakes standoff between immediate financial savings and the literal physical safety of its most critical infrastructure. In civil engineering, runway safety starts with petrography, the study of rock structure. You need a rock like high-density basalt, where tightly interlocking silica crystals form a rigid matrix that actively resists extreme pressure. Aviation authorities use the LA abrasion test, tumbling the aggregate with heavy steel spheres to measure its breaking point. If the rock is weak, the foundation pulverizes into dust, causing the asphalt above to quickly develop deep cracks. Once the surface splinters, loose chunks of pavement become foreign object debris, or FOD. On an active runway, those loose fragments can easily be sucked directly into the intake of a massive jet engine. International aviation standards are incredibly strict because the margin for error is zero. A runway is only as reliable as its weakest layer of crushed rock. The bedrock at the Dominica site sits directly over an ancient system of boiling hot springs. Geologists refer to this as hydrothermal alteration. Thousands of years of extreme heat and tropical weathering cooked the rock from the inside out. The process leached away the strong silica, leaving behind weak, brittle clay minerals that easily crumble. Professor Mitchell's investigation also found something else buried at the site, clear evidence of copper mineralization. This detail alarms local activists. Decades ago, massive protests successfully halted copper exploration in this valley. Now, critics suspect the airport quarry is a convenient cover operation for mining valuable metals. Proceeding at Dominica poses a dual threat. It risks building an international runway on chemically degraded stone, while creating a massive environmental blind spot for the public. Paving over weathered clay rock guarantees rapid structural failure. The runway would require constant repairs, turning an engine for economic growth into a permanent financial drain. Geologists point out that a viable alternative already exists. Highly industrialized quarries on Dominica's west coast currently produce the dense, uniform basalt required for commercial aviation infrastructure. The catch is the logistics. Loading millions of tons of heavy stone onto maritime barges and navigating them around the island will definitively add friction to the schedule and require a significant increase in the budget. Paying that extra cost is essentially a sustainability premium. It ensures the billion-dollar investment actually survives the physical realities of modern aviation. This proposed action plan outlines a civic timeout. Environmental groups and scientists are urging developers to pause operations at Dominica and secure specialized funding to pay for responsible rock sourcing. Dominica holds a unique global status as the nature island. Sourcing the stone correctly proves that protecting an ancient ecosystem and building massive modern infrastructure can happen simultaneously. Dominica achieves true national resilience by marrying modern economic ambition with uncompromising scientific and environmental accountability.